Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. I've been pulled out of my YouTube hiatus by what is the biggest news that's come out of 𝗨𝘀 since they released Luminar Neo. Providing you haven't been living underneath a rock, you cannot have missed the hype around Photoshop's new generative fill technologies. Absolutely amazing stuff, and I'm sure it's given 𝗨𝘀, the previous AI photo editing leader, a really big shake-up because they have just announced that they will be releasing their own generative AI technology into Luminar Neo. So in this video I'm going to cover 6 new tools that are being released, 3 other really interesting looking tools, one of which I have the beta version of, which I'm going to demonstrate to you shortly. I know a lot of you are on the subscription plan, and if that's the case, great, because all of this technology is just going to be rolled out into your version of Luminar Neo. You don't need to do anything, but if that's not the case, at the end of the video I will just go over what you need to do to actually get access to this new Gen technology. Just creating my own abbreviation there, Gen technology, generative AI technology. Right, so let's look at the tools. The first new technology is Gen-Erase, and the idea of that is it's going to be able to remove unwanted objects in your scene, and it's going to do it in a really believable way by analysing what's there in your photograph and then taking away the object that you select and putting in a believable, cohesive new element that matches the previously existing background. Pretty cool stuff. I just got back from doing an architectural shoot where the exterior of the property, I couldn't actually capture it in its entirety because of overlapping construction work from the property next door. And so I spent a long time cloning out those elements and actually rebuilding the side of the photograph. So technology inside Luminar Neo, just like the generative fill in Photoshop, can actually do that for me. I'm really excited by the prospect of that. 𝗤𝗡𝗏�expand is a tool that's going to allow us to add pixels to the original crop of our photo. So if you're frustrated by capturing an image just a little bit too tight and you wish there was more negative space in the sky, the foreground, or even to the sides of the image, the AI again will analyze the scene and add the relevant information to the sides, top and bottom, whatever you want. So as part of my landscape photography site, I produce a lot of canvases. And rather than lose pixel information from the front face and wrap that around the sides, what I like to do is actually mirror what's on the front around the sides of the image. This new 𝗤𝗡𝗏𝒀and will actually be able to take your image and actually add that information around the sides. So just like Gen-Erase, I see 𝗤𝗡𝗏𝒀and as a very useful and practical tool for us as photographers. Okay, the next tool is Scene Swap, and as I understand it, that's going to allow us to introduce new elements into our photo. And just being straight up with you, because these tools are still under development, I haven't actually seen a working version of it. And so I'm just presenting what I understand of the outline of the tool at the moment, based on the information I currently have. When I know more, you will know more. So those are the 3 new tools that use the generative AI technology. And in order to do that, you need an internet connection, because it's not like your computer has suddenly become a supercomputer capable of all this AI processing. And what happens is your request for that newly generated image that's going to plug into your photo seamlessly, that is calculated on 𝗨𝘀's servers. So they need a server farm to do all that number crunching and send back the result to you. And the main reason I'm mentioning that isn't because of the internet connection, because of course most of us have that these days. It's more the fact that there is a cost to 𝗨𝘀 for actually running these generative AI technologies. So I'm just mentioning that right now. Yeah, you know where we're going with this, but we'll come back to pricing. Okay, the next 3 tools, as I understand it, is that they are going to be built into the core of Luminar Neo, the program itself. So the first one we'll look at is Water Enhancer, and the idea behind this is oftentimes when we capture water in our landscapes, it isn't the beautiful blue that we kind of envisage with our eyes when we see the subject. It's captured as the sensor sees it, and it's often a murkier rendition of how we kind of remembered it. So rather than us having to physically mask the water, play around with the hue and the saturation just to try and get that water looking much better, the AI is going to help us actually achieve that result. Now, I keep talking about AI and it helping us out with our photo editing, and I actually think we're living through a really exciting time with AI and how that's going to actually aid us with our creativity. And I think that's the key, is that the creativity is still coming from us. It's always our vision. It's just about us utilizing tools that help us realize that vision quicker without us having to do all the manual boring stuff like masking manually and things like that. So I would suggest don't be afraid of AI, just embrace it and see how you can use it to actually elevate your creativity. So the next tool, Neon and Glow, this is more of a fun effect. It isn't something for the photography purists out there, but this is something that I've played around with in Photoshop before. I was playing around putting neon effects into the sky of landscapes, and I really enjoyed the creative process of creating a more fantasy piece from reality. And the fact that we are going to be able to do that inside Luminar Neo, I think that's a fantastic addition. Again, not for everybody, but I'm certainly going to enjoy having a play around with it. Studio Light is the last of those 6 tools that Skilim have announced, and it is the one that I have access to as a beta version. So let's load it up and let's see what it can do. Okay, a few photos of my kids and my mum. Let's work on this one of my son here. I'm not going to do any pre-processing. I'm just going to jump straight into Studio Light, which is currently at the top of Essentials. And I'm just going to grab the amount slider and start cranking that up. Currently we've got a lighting pattern based on dots, but you can choose strips, or you can also choose none, and I actually think none is probably the most useful of these. You can place the depth center, which is similar to actually moving your light around on your subject, and you can control a variety of other things as well. One of the things is filter radius, and if I take this all the way down, things are going to look a little bit gnarly, but it's good for actually seeing exactly how the light is interacting with your subject. And so I'm just going to position that over there for now and just double click it to reset the filter radius. We also have the ability to play with the color channels, so we could crank in some crazy look if we want. We could go for some neon magenta look and maybe pull that over to the left hand side. We have a slider that controls the depth of the light as well, how far forward that light actually comes, and we can also bring down the exposure if we want to as well. When we've got a look that we're pretty happy with, we can just grab the amount slider, pull that down and just put it to a place we feel looks a little bit more believable. But the cool thing with Studio Light is, as with all of the tools inside Luminar Neo, we don't just have to do one application of the tool. I can actually add a whole new Studio Light filter to this, place the depth center, and again we can get a completely different look or an addition of more light. And I think seeing as we started doing a little bit of a neon look, let's just carry on that theme and add some blue lighting as well. If you are working with either the dots or the stripes, what you can do is actually change the angle of the stripes. And as you can see, those stripes are moving around our 2D subject, our flat image, in a 3-dimensional way. The AI has actually calculated the volume of my son and is actually moving those stripes around him. It's very, very clever stuff. But just like last time, I'm going to switch to none rather than stripes. I think this is probably going to be a more useful setting for most of the time. And just a finishing touch, just 'cause it's bugging me a little bit, I'm just going to bring in the crop so that I lose those annoying elements just around the edge. And now if I press the / key, we see the original shot that I got with pure white studio lighting. And here I've got a more creative interpretation with colored lighting. It's really easy, a lot of fun to do. And I'm sure someone's going to ask it, so let me cover that now. Yes, it works on multiple subjects. So again, I'll push this aggressively high to 100. I'm going to change my pattern to none. And what was a very flat photo of me and my mum, if I wanted to, I can move the light over to the left-hand side. Currently we are overexposed, but that's no problem. I've just put that amount nice and high so I could actually see what's going on. And of course, again, we can play with the depth slider. We can play with the filter radius. No need to play with the color channels in this particular photo, but we have the option to do that if we wanted to. And now if I close that down and we look at our before and after, you can see that we've actually been able to add a little more direction to the light. Very flat front on lighting before, and now afterwards we've got a bit of side light. So there you go, a very crude demonstration of the Studio Light tool, but hopefully you can see that it has a lot of possibility for practical application and creative fun time as well. So the question now is, what do you need to do to get these new tools inside of Luminar Neo? And if you're anything like me, you may feel that Skilim have kind of muddied their pricing structure over the last few years by introducing different options, and it all got a little bit convoluted. So I'm going to try and break it down really simply for you. As part of the release of this new technology, Skilim, as they often do, are running an early bird promotion that is going to offer excellent value for you guys if you jump on board now. And as part of that, they've tried to streamline and simplify their pricing structure. So let me break down these models of having access to it as simply as I can. if you are on the subscription model, it doesn't matter which one, while your subscription is active, you have access to everything. That's Neo, all its extensions, the generative AI tools, everything while your subscription is active. Nice and simple. And if you're brand new to Luminar Neo, it's a really great time to jump on board. They have a 1, 12 or 24 month subscription option. Like I say, it's early bird promotion at the moment, and you can also use my discount link as well. I'll put a link to it in the description. Help yourself if you want to. I do get a little kickback from doing that, and it just helps me keep creating these videos. So I really appreciate that. But it saves you guys, helps me out. Everyone's a winner. If you already own Luminar Neo as a lifetime license, you have a couple of options. Now, bear in mind, Luminar Neo itself, the program, you've paid for that. That is yours. Nothing changes. It's going to keep working for you. And all of the service updates, functionality, camera support, those kind of updates that Skileum roll out, you will obviously get access to those. The generative AI tools, however, if you want to access those, they are a separate thing. You knew it was coming, right? So a separate paid thing. Please don't shoot the messenger. This is just information from Skileum. Like I say, there is a cost to them running these cloud-based services. So if you want to trial the generative AI technology, they are doing an early bird season pass. This will give you access till August the 16th, 2024 for just $39. So that'd be a really good way to trial it. If, however, you do want to switch to a subscription model, which you might not because you decided to buy a lifetime license, but as a valued customer, Skileum's words, they want to reward you for having invested in Luminar Neo itself, and for $49 you can get a whole year subscription to the platform. That is an introductory early bird price, and that, again, obviously being a subscription, gives you access to everything. So that's a very concise attempt by me to summarize what plans and options you have available to you. But if you want to learn more, click the link in the description below. If you do want to make a change, upgrade, switch to subscription, whatever, I've got a discount code there. Please read the small print. Make sure that you're happy with your decision. Like I say, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm not Skileum. I'm not Luminar Neo. I don't make any of these decisions. I'm just presenting the information to you guys. And if it looks like taking advantage of the early bird offer is something you would like to do, I would really appreciate it if you would use that link in the description. Personally, I love it when software developers bring us new tools to help us with our creativity. I find it very exciting, but please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed already, you can click that button right there. And if you want to watch another video, check out that one right there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye for now.